All right. Hey people, welcome back. This is reupload. Also re-recording. Not gonna lie, I didn't check until like it was uploaded and I was watching the VOD and it was like, wait, why is the mic quality shit? I'm so angry about that last night, man. I'm not gonna lie. I really felt Himeko's epilogue, man. And then rewatching it, I'm like, whatever. Anyway, let's get started. I'm gonna try my best to act as if this is my first time going through this. Oh, you notice that she switched from her jumpsuit thing to like her pajamas? Because when they went to Mount Fuji, she was wearing her overalls, and now she switched to her pajamas. Don't know if that made sense. I mean, when she's just going back to the hospital and all, church or whatever, okay, whatever. The rolling sound of bells, stopping the car in front of the kyokai. Himeko-san dropped me off. And then,
さよなら、コロッケ博士。その言葉を最後に、私に背を向けると教会へと歩き始める。おそらく、その中にいるであろう、千尋さんやゆかさんと会うのだろう。きっと、以前は優しかったの。以前は、なくなるのだろう。
Alright, as you guys can see, I already unlocked afterward, and this is a classic mode, but you know what, I'm just gonna go through, I just want to repeat it exactly how I did it last night. Classic mode is something, but like, I think I enjoyed how I went through it last night, so I'll go with start. We'll just go through the new way of like presentation. Oh yeah, by the way, let me just comment that later when we start with Yuka's chapters. Anyway, Chihiro, the church. Today I was in this place again. At the heavy sound of the front door opening, I turned around.
Chihiro, 帰ってきたわよ。
There, returning from her final drive with Setsumi-san, was my Oneya-san.
ロードスター、表に止めたからガレージに回しといて。あ、うん、わかった。
I took the car keys as I answered. Before now, hadn't she always avoided interacting with me by going through Setsumi-san?
さて、そんなわけで久しぶりに駅前でも行きますか。
Station front? I was so sudden I didn't understand what she was saying. But without paying me any heed, my Oneya-chan quickly made to lead the kyokai, and putting her hand on the heavy door.
千尋、何やってるの？え？何って何が？決まってるじゃない。一緒に行くわよ。
The sun was still high. The area in front of the station was busy, and the voices of the cicadas rang out.
ねえ千尋、あんた何にする？いつものレモン？あ、うん、シャーベットの。お姉ちゃんはバニラ？うん。たまには私も違うのにするわ。
The two of us wandered around in front of the station holding ice creams. Blowing sweat, the shrill cries of the cicadas. Occasionally we would laugh together over trivial things. I haven't felt this way in a long time. Wait, let me I'm double checking, man. I'm really scared about the mic thing.
あら、この服かわいいわね。
Our street stop in front of a single general store. You know what? Let me double check right now. All right. The good thing of me recording using NKV is that I could check what's currently like recorded without stopping the recording entirely. I mean, anyway, let's go. Continue. The cute things in question were a variety of flashy clothes decorating the storefront.
どうしよう。これっていいと思わない？でもちょっと子供っぽいよな。もうこれくらいがいいんじゃないの？可愛くて。
It was a summery one-piece dress, white with a yellow sunflower pattern. So I'm guessing this is where she buys the dress she gives to Setsumi at the end of second side. That's right. My sister has liked these kinds of clothes for a long time. However, she didn't seem interested in wearing them herself. Even if she bought these kinds of clothes, usually Yuka-san and I ended up wearing them. It could be that Yuka-san's girly taste were my sister's fault.
じゃ、ちょっと買ってくるわ。ちょっとお姉ちゃん。
Not heeding my request, she quickly took it to the register, then came back with her newly purchased clothes, grinning.
また私たちが着ることになるのだろうか。
I was happy, of course, but also a little embarrassed.
大丈夫よ。あなたやゆかに着てとは言わないから。
It's not for us. Unexpected words from my sister, One-chan.
もしかしてお姉ちゃん、自分で着るつもりなの？まさか、私にそんな少女趣味ないわよ。
Then, just what did she plan on doing?
あ、ごめん。やっぱちょっと訂正。訂正？もしかしたら、千尋、あなたが着ることになるかもね。
Burning sunlight, a high sun, deep black shadows falling on their foot. Kids on the last bits of summer vacation going to the pool came to view. A time when where cicadas could still be heard. Yuka, alright.
久しぶりに行ってみな
Here
い？
we go.
吹く風が涼しくなる頃、そんな突然の携帯からの誘いに驚いた。こらゆか、あんたクラッチ早すぎるのよ。うるさいわね。ペーパーに無茶言わないでよ。あの海へと続く道、少し頼りないながらも走る赤いオープンカー。あの頃と違うのは姫子が助手席にいること、そしてハンドルを握るのが私ということだった。あんた何セブンに道譲ってんのよ。
That massive man. Wait, I think I also had this issue last night. I think the BGM was too high. I don't know if it was just me. Because I commented last night that I felt like the BGM at least in the beginning, was kind of too loud for their voices. This VM doesn't do like audio ducking, which if you watch my rewrite playthroughs, they actually, if you notice that the BGM lowers in volume while there's any dialogue going on, that's ducking basically. And they don't do that for this VM. So the early parts of the epilogue was like, I kind of needed to lower the BGM so I could hear whatever they were speaking.
だからうるさいって、そこの人。つか、マニュアル車なんて教習所以来なんだから。
Not gonna lie, I'm also in the same boat. Although I haven't driven a car ever since I moved into the US. Like, New York, you don't need a car. At least my part of New York, at least.
相変わらずの姫子とかつて通った道を行く。どこまでも続く長い長い海岸線。肌に触れる風は少し冷たくなり、すでにセミの声も消えてしまったけど、鼻につく潮風も立派なフェニックスの木も、すべてはあの日のままだった。姫子、着いたわよ。じゃあ早速だけどミルクティー。はいはい、すぐに買ってくるわ。
And the two of us descended to the shore, canned drinks in hand. And of course, neither of us forgot to prop our hands on our hips as we drank.
ここは綺麗ね。何も変わらないわ。
Gazing somewhat far away, Himeko murmured, and I silently nodded in response.
いいゆか。以前にお見舞い禁止令あったけどさ。あれってやっぱなしね。なし？ええ。私がルールに追加したから。何のことかわからないけど、お見舞いに行ってもいいってこと？皆勤賞でも何でも狙ってちょうだい。
Her eyes were on me as she said that. Under such a direct gaze, I couldn't summon up a reply.
今まで何年も共にして、夜通し話したって話題が尽きることはなかったの。もう二度と会えないと思っていたのに、またこうして再び会うことができたの。今さらメロンくらいの商品じゃ嫌よ。
And yet, the words that finally came out were those.
あれでどう？え？たまに乗ってくれるだけでいいからさ。
Saying that, Himeko pointed at her own car. It was a suggestion that I had once refused.
本当は誰も引き取り手がいなくて困ってるだけなんだけどね。分かったわよ。
I answered with a big sigh.
どうせ他に皆勤賞取れそうな人もいないし、私がもらってあげるわ。さすが親友ね。
And so, her car came to my possession. It was just as autumn was still beginning. Oh. Well, I'm already I'm in deep autumn right now. Then that day, in the hospital parking lot, you can see a red open top car, aim for perfect attendance. October.
しんど。
I was panting, pedaling and standing up on the bike. I was in the middle of an all-out dash to the station. Right now, it was 8:44. The office opens at 9:30. Man, I love that schedule, man. I love that schedule, 9:30. Well, if you think about it, well, if she's a salaryman, well, you know, they tend to go home at like fucking just before the last train, so it's 11. They probably go home at 11:30 or 11:45 just to catch the last train that leaves before 12. To make it in time, I need to get on the 8:51 express. Normally, I would be taking one train earlier. And by the way, my house was 10 minutes away from the train station, so normally I would be walking to the station too. But on days like today where I overslept, I'll bet it all on the tiny time gain from the bike dash.
駐輪するところあるかな？
If I didn't pay attention, it could be confiscated. Worrying about such pointless things, I pedaled harder. Considering my standing recently, I really wanted to avoid being late.
おはようございます。
Opening the office door, I greeted everyone energetically. And before I went to my desk, I prepared a coffee maker for 15 people. Oh, she's one of those. That's how many people are in this department, and preparing and serving the coffee is my job. Damn, man. Damn. Damn. Like, okay, let's continue a little bit more. My place of work is what you call a stock brokerage. Okay, that makes more sense. You know how stock brokerages here, or at least not just stock brokerages, but also like shitty companies, especially if they get interns. This is what the intern does for shitty companies, by the way. The intern would get some coffee for like the full-time employees. They go to Starbucks, order 5 drinks, or make some coffee on the pantry or some shit for shitty companies. While the good companies, their interns actually get real world experience that they could be proud of to put in their resume and say they actually know how to do a thing or two. If you come out of like an internship without learning how to do a thing or two that's applicable in real life or a real job, or like once you start working, then that's a shitty internship, man. And if you're serving coffee for your full-time employee coworkers, man, that's shit. But think about Yuka's case. She's a full-time employee. This is there's a thing, you know, like I know that they still do that nowadays, but like when I used to watch like 90s dramas or movies, Japanese dramas or movies, and there involves like an office, some office location, there'd always be like a staff that's their only job is to just make coffee and basically do assistant work. But I think that's I don't hear about that much nowadays, so I'm guessing that kind of disappeared because, you know. Anyway, yeah, but it also feels like work meant for like a temporary person, you know, part-timer or something. I don't know, man. Anyway, I've been working here a year and a half already, but was still the new one and charged with the miscellaneous tasks. Oh, it's the oh man, that really sucks, man. You know, yeah, that really sucks. They have something like that going on. They don't even rotate, or even they don't expect people to be adults who can do things on their own, right? Anyway, it might seem a bit dated to be giving tea serving and copy work to female staff, but I didn't have any special skills, nor was I good at socializing. There was no way they could give me anything important. Yeah, you know what? I don't get this sometimes. You know how some Japanese companies, at least this is what I heard. I need to ask an actual friend who works in Japan, but like this is what I heard from other people who are not my personal friends. It's like the recruitment process can be for some companies. I don't know if the company if the situation is like a specialized company. Like if it was a specialized ID company, naturally they'll do interviews with like asking you if you know how to code, if you know this and that. But if you're like a general ass company, you know, recruitment process is basically the same, and it doesn't matter where you end up. Like you could be like a very social person, but they felt like they needed some guy in the IT department, and they'll just train you from scratch, even though your undergrad was in fucking I don't know, music or some shit. I know, man. I have a feeling that's how Yuka got into this company. I mean, the company was just looking for someone to get working in their company, and she wasn't, you know, she did well enough to pass the interview and get hired at least. But like, since there's nothing in the story that indicated what her background was during her college years, but like her undergrad was. But like the mere fact that she says she doesn't have any special skills, nor was she good at socializing. So it was like maybe the job was just like get whoever the fuck they could get and have her process some random ass shit. Yeah, that's such a garbage bin way of recruiting. Not gonna lie. Anyway, I'm rambling a lot. I'm rambling a lot because I just got off job, so my brain is still kind of thinking about work a little. But like, you know, even now, other more senior female staff were like everyone else doing their jobs efficiently.
まあ、手っ取り早く言えば容量が悪いのだろう、私は。
Or you could just be working the bad job. Or, you know, some people really do take some time to actually get good. It is what it is. Well, the original reason I chose this company after graduating college was because the pay wasn't bad and there were many days off. Ah, man. Those are tricks, bro. Those are tricks. It's like unlimited PTO, man. It's not actually unlimited. And you'll probably even get more actual PTO time compared to someone who has limited PTO in a year. Anyway, for the start, it wasn't a company that chose through careful thought. That's why, even when things were like this, I didn't intend on complaining. So I guess she had just accepted that she got lucky, but at the same time, she got lucky on a bad hand. But right now, my position in the company was getting a bit strange.
秋島くん、ちょっといいかな?
The chief called my name. He was the highest ranking person in the office, and there were only 2 reasons he'd call me in.
はい。コーヒーおかわりですか？
いや、そうじゃなくて、今週から決算報告の準備に入るから。
そうですね。
I gave a vague reply. Essentially, the chief meant that I should be staying late for work. Oh no! The Japanese salaryman life! Holy shit! Remember, she's trying her best to get perfect attendance for visiting Himeko every day. And this is so not gonna work out, right? Certainly, with a small office of 15, when it's busy, they need even my help. But that wasn't the real reason. He probably was trying to get me to be sensitive to the staff's morale. Everyone else was not only staying late, but working during days off. Fuck this salaryman lifestyle, man. Some dudes, last time I went to Japan, like Saturday, Sunday, there was always at least 1 or 2 salaryman in the fucking street, man. I'm like, they're working on Sundays, man. Think about it. They're not only staying late. Imagine they gotta get out at like fucking 11 to catch the train home, but like their fucking boss is like, you know what? I need to drink, and it becomes a department-wide nomikai, man. You're kind of forced to take the taxi to go home, but you barely afford that shit. But you can't leave because it'll be disrespect to your seniors. Jesus Christ. Oh, that reminds me. I actually had some. I was supposed to have some drinking after work today, but I got some like fucking food poisoning last Saturday. But then again, I really felt like going through this VN. I don't feel like socializing this week. Maybe Thursday. I don't know, man. But I still have a legitimate concern, a legitimate reason. But like, whatever. Hey man, I'm randomly rambling about my life then this VN. Let's go. It probably didn't go so over well when a newbie like me left at the exact same time every day.
すみません、課長。今日はちょっと。
そうか。ま、他のみんなも大変だから気を使ってくれよ。
Bro, the gaslight. The chief said that with a small smile, but his eyes weren't smiling. From a nearby desk, I could hear someone who had probably been listening in go, "Hello, this douchebag. She's not staying late with us, not joining us with the mandatory nomikai that we go home at 4 a.m. or 2 a.m. and then we had to wake up at 4 a.m. because our commute is like fucking 3 hours or some shit." Anyway, I actually did tell everyone through the chief that it was because I was visiting a sick friend, but that only worked for a few days. Yes, of course. I mean, yeah, I totally understand why they would feel like that, you know? I totally understand. I mean, Yuka was, for Yuka's case, she was really trying hard to do the perfect attendance thing. After a few weeks, then months, I couldn't blame them for not accepting it, even if they understood. At a time like this, if it were Himeko, she probably would have been able to say what she wanted directly. I had a feeling that even if it resulted in a fight right then, In the end, both sides would have cleared air between them. But for myself, understanding that logic and still unable to give a strong response. So Himeko is not exactly a strong-willed person, you know. But I'm surprised, despite being supposedly being not a strong-willed person, she's still willing to don't give a fuck about everyone, considering how their society was more on to, like, you know, being a group, a crowd. But she was naturally like, I'm gonna go home while everyone else is like, oh well, you know, she's not going home. But you know, at this point, some people are probably not even believing that she is actually visiting a sick friend, because it's been going for a year at this point for them, or I mean months. So anyway, it probably didn't mean I was bad at doing things. It might seem a bit surprising, but I don't have a very strong personality. And yet, if I had been able to come this far normally, it was undoubtedly because I had Himeko. 5 p.m.
お疲れ様でした。お先に失礼します。
Hello, this douchebag, why is she not going home at 2 a.m. with us? Lowering my head even more than usual, I left the office. Even though it was closing time in the company, there were only a few people in the hallways and elevator lobby. However, I didn't leave the company immediately. Instead, I went to another floor's bathroom. The goal was to change from my current suit to some frilly clothing. You know what? I don't get this. I never understood this. Why does she need to change her clothes in the office building? She could have done it at the station, or like, you know, the station nearby, or the station where she gets off near the hospital. But why does she have to do it in the office? I don't get it. Ordinarily, I would be using a normal changing room, but considering my situation, I didn't want people to see me wearing frilly clothing. Yeah, that's the thing. Why is she, if she doesn't want like people in her office to see her wearing the frilly clothes, why is she doing it in the office building? Saying that I was visiting a sick friend wouldn't be convincing. It'll actually draw suspicion. Which is right, because, you know, she says, like, I'm visiting a sick friend, but, like, you know, she's wearing clothes that look fucking... You're going to Takeshita Street. And it's really sus. Well, even now, I don't exactly want to wear these clothes. I don't want to, but Himeko would be happier with these, would be at ease with these. And so I chose to dress like I always did. So I guess at this point she already grew out of her frilly clothes, but like, I guess she's trying to keep appearances to Himeko. Taking the express, the sky was already darkening when I arrived at the station. I once again made a dash by bicycle. My destination was the now familiar hospital. Imagine someone wearing a frilly dress dashing with a bicycle. There I was aiming for that perfect attendance ward.
どうぞ。
From the other side of the door, the familiar voice was a little weaker than before. But just as I always did.
よ、元気そうね。
Thank God we see more of Himeko. I mean, yeah, I mean we see the main menu, but like we finally see more of her face. Like yeah, the first two Narcissu stories, they really had minimal you don't see their faces too much, so I'm really glad this is a bit more modern. You see their faces. All right, this is the thing I wanted to comment on. Look at Yuka, man. You know what? Yesterday I was so surprised to see this is her design, and I was like, oh shit, man. God damn, she's so pretty, man. She's pretty cute. I was really surprised. I was like, what the fuck, man? Yuka's... Anyway, I said my greeting and raised one hand cheerfully. I also didn't forget to flutter my frilly skirt.
で、どう調子は？まあまあね。
Himeko answered while seated on the bed. As always, she had mask spread out, and next to her, on the nightstand, was a plate of freshly peeled apples. I think they were meant to be shaped like usagi. They were still pure white, meaning they had probably only just been cut. She probably would never say it out loud, but I think Himeko was watching the time and had prepared them for me. And even the somewhat misshapen body shape, I knew that she recently started having trouble with her fingers. Thinking that Himeko was, in her own way, trying her best for me was very heartbreaking. That was why I acted normal. I felt I needed to be normal.
おいしそう。一ついただくわね。って、こらゆか、何遠慮なく頭から食べてんのよ。ウサギにしたんだから食べ方ってもんがあるでしょうが。あ？これってウサギのつもりだったの？失礼ね。どこから見てもウサギよ。つか、リンゴの切り方の定番でしょ？
And sulking just a little bit, Himeko put one in her mouth. And similarly, I started eating my second.
それとさ、ゆか、ちゃんと手を洗ってから食べなさいよね。大丈夫だって。ちょっとくらい平気だから。
Okay, that's a turn off for you. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna act like some sort of never mind.
ダメよ。殺菌は万病のもとなんだから。って病人の私が言っても説得力ないわね。
She sat down with a bright smile. Outside the window, the sun had set, and the street lights were starting to come on. The wind showed the night view beyond those 15 centimeters, and an expression unchanged from earlier days. With a body that was thinner than before, a voice weaker than before, laughed for me. Sunday. Since I had the day off, I headed to the hospital in the morning, but everyone else was working in the office. I could have come by bike, but recently I had been coming by car. The roadster, imagine, 10 minutes, okay? She gets the car. I was still not that used to the transmission, but one day I'll get good at it. No, I'll wind up being good at it.
よっ、今日も元気そうね。
I also like this art of Himeko. They really got that expression down. I like her expression here.
へえ、おかげさまでね。
As we exchanged our usual greetings, I immediately started prepping the wheelchair. We didn't normally go out at night, but during the day it's become common for us to wander around the hospital.
ほら、早くしてよ。ゆかがエンジンなんだから。わかってるわよ。ちょっと点滴固定する間くらい待ちなさいって。
Lending her my shoulder, I helped Himeko move to the wheelchair. In her hands was a bag of potato chips. No, it's not French fries. And a drink bottle. It was a bit like going to a picnic. Things had been the same for a while now, so I didn't bat an eye. But the first time she was in a wheelchair surprised me. Himeko had just 2 weeks before been able to walk on her own. And in that day, while the two of us were walking the courtyard, she suddenly declared, "I'm tired, so I'm using this." And then just sat down in one of the wheelchairs lined up in the hall. And after pressuring me to push from behind, just when we started moving, she kept going on about how easy it was. In the end, I wound up being dragged around to the station front, and then the shopping district. Finally, we got in trouble with the nurses and doctors for leaving the hospital without permission. You know, based on the first two stories, I am surprised they're getting reprimanded. Because at this point, I'm like, I went through like all their stories, and I'm like, you know, it always felt to me that when Setsumi just randomly feels like going out of like the fucking hospital, and she just comes back. Oh, Setsumi, where did you go? Oh, you know, here and there. I took a 5-hour train and all. Oh, it's okay. But, you know, this is the first time I see a line they actually got in trouble for doing that.
じゃあ、姫子、どこ行く？とりあえず中庭行って。
Instead of replying, I began to push the wheelchair out the door. Along the way to the elevator, I exchanged greetings with people in the lounge and nurses station. By now, there were many doctors and nurses that I knew on site. We came to the courtyard. With it being the middle of October, which is also where I am right now, you could feel a chill in the air on your skin. But even then, with the hospital building on all four sides, there wasn't any wind. When we got to the courtyard, we went to the flower beds first. More precisely, we went to the far edge of the flower beds.
それじゃあゆか、ホースくれる？
Wow, I really like the art. This is a super upgrade. Well, they have a different artist this time around compared to the first two Narcissu.
しっかり持ってよ。
There was a faucet at the edge of the flower beds, and attached to it was a hose about 20 meters or so long. Stopping the wheelchair in front of that, I handed Himeko the end of the hose.
姫子、それじゃあ水出すわよ。いつでもいいわよ。
On that signal, water flowed out of the end of the hose vigorously. Then it scattered over the wide flower beds, that the courtyard's wandering walkway wound through. The sunlight streaming down caught the water drops and turned into a rainbow, that stretched from Himeko as she sat in the wheelchair. I pushed Himeko, wrapped in a small rainbow, forward.
ねえゆか、もうちょっとゆっくり進んで。
Sometimes, Himeko would dictate the speed for me. That was because there were a number of flower beds along the path, and if we went too fast, they couldn't be watered. Like this, Himeko did her best to do the watering herself. Did she have some sort of connection to it? Watering by herself? That question had occurred to me before, and I had once asked, but back then she replied with Nantonaku in her usual way, with a smile.
ちょっとストップ。ここは念入りに水まきするから。
At her words, I stopped the wheelchair in front of some sort of green plants. By now, the summer flowers had completely disappeared, and the autumn ones were on the way out. So seeing green was surprising.
まだつぼみもないけど、これも何かの花なの？ああ、水仙よ、水仙。あなたも聞いたことくらいあるでしょ？あ、うん。水仙くらいなら。
I gave a vague answer, but I only knew them while they were blooming.
これって冬の花だからさ、早くても12月になってからね。
Having said that, Himeko resumed gazing seriously at the green plants and watering them. And next to her, in the same way, I gazed at them. I hoped they bloomed soon, even though they were such natural words. To become December, to get to December, I had been told it would be very difficult for Himeko to hold on that long.
やっぱさ、いろいろと心配なのよ。こんな私でもね。
Suddenly, she murmured.
千尋はね、いいのよ。安心しているわ。そうなの？千尋ちゃんは心配じゃないの？そりゃ全然不安がないわけじゃないけど。ああ見えても強い子よ、千尋は。だったら誰が心配なの？やっぱ節美かな？節美？
A name I haven't heard before. Even though I've been with Himeko a long time and felt we knew most things about each other, which meant that it had to be someone Himeko met in the past few months, while I didn't see her. As I thought that over, one thing came to mind.
もしかして、あの時海にいたあの子？そう。まだ15歳なんだけどね。年の離れた友達なのよ。
I had seen the girl named Setsumi just once, and didn't know anything about her. But if it were something that Himeko was worried about, then more than likely, it was something important to Himeko.
ねえ、姫子。私にできることあるなら言って。節美のこと？そう。あなたも気がかりを残したままじゃ嫌でしょ？それは確かにね。
And eventually, after thinking for a while,
もしあの子がワンピースを着ていたら、ドライ ライブにでも連れて行ってあげて。
はあ？ワンピース？
One piece.
でももしパジャマを着ていたらそっとしておいてあげて。きっとパジャマの場合はね、まだ答えを出せていないと思うのよ。
I didn't really understand what she meant. No. I understood the words she was saying, but I didn't understand what she meant to do.
わかった。いや、本当はよくわからないけど、とにかくわかった。
悪いわね、ゆか。
And from there, the watering of the flower beds ended, and we made to leave the courtyard. Suddenly she turned around and whispered to me.
でもね、ゆか。一番心配なのはあなたよ。
私？
ええ。だからせめて祈ってあげるわ。ただの信徒だから魔法には及ばないけどね。
And then she quietly closed her eyes.
あなたの上に主の豊かな恵みと祝福がありますように。
There were still rainbows beaming from the mist in the air. Wrapped in those rainbows, Himeko prayed for me while sitting in the wheelchair. That form seemed very beautiful to me. It was almost mystical. Even though she was supposed to be my best friend with whom I spent countless years. And even though we knew everything about each other, she seemed to be in a different place somehow. That was heartbreaking. A few days later, our work was done for the day and it was 5 p.m. The time I'd come to think of as closing time. Maybe it was because it was Thursday, but the office seemed busier than usual. I'm sorry, everyone, but even while thinking that, I prepared to leave.
秋島くん、今日残業いいかな？
Oh no, no, no. The chief's voice called. Unlike previously, he specifically used the words worked late. The moment he uttered that phrase, all the sounds around me stopped. There was no mistake. Everyone else was listening in, engaging in the situation.
申し訳ないんですけど。
You know, I'm really surprised at how difficult it is to fire someone in Japan. But like at the same time, because I don't know, man. It's at this point, basically, I don't know how they rate performance or whatever, how they get someone to put her in a situation where she's, I don't know, man.
いや別に10時や11時まで残業ってわけじゃなくて2時間ほどでいいから。
His way of speaking was calm, but it was clear that he was angrier than the usual. And since I had been running out at exactly the same time lately, he had even more reason. But today, Chihiro had said she needed to talk to me about Himeko. So I wanted to leave as quickly as I could.
すみません、課長。できればやっぱり。
そうか、やっぱり無理か。
This time, anyone within earshot could hear the amount of sarcasm in his voice. I heard someone at the nearby desk say they'd known it wasn't going to work. At this point, it wasn't even a matter of working late or office morale. It probably had to do with their respect for the position of the chief of this office. Yeah. Surprised she's not yet even fired. But then again, Japan doesn't work with employment at will like here in the US. Where they could just instantly fire for whatever, for a good enough reason. But like employment in Japan is a bit more quote unquote stable, but like I don't know.
確か友達のお見舞いに行っているそうだね。
はい、そうです。
俺だって気持ちはわからないでもない。大切な友達ならなおさらだろう。
And then he took a deep breath.
なあ、秋島くん。これは言い難いことだが、就業規則では肉親の仏帰休暇は1週間となっている。
You know, the first time I saw this last night, I was like, You know, yeah, this doesn't make sense because he straight up just says, offers 1 week of bereavement leave for family. Well, her friend isn't even, technically her friend isn't even family. And, you know, this is obviously like another way of saying something that, like, you know, he's basically threatening her with something else.
手術や見舞い等についての規則は特に決められていない。だから、そこは常識の範疇で判断してほしい。
It was a bit indirect, but I completely understood what he was trying to say.
では、話はそれだけだ。
すみません。
I lowered my head deeply. I couldn't think of anything else to say, and even if I could, I didn't have the sort of personality that would have let me say it. From a distance, I heard someone quiff, "Gee, stop making girls cry," which was both frustrating and saddening. Eventually, when 5:30 closing time rolled around, I left the office as though I were running away. I was surprised she even waited. Like, she even stayed for an additional 30 minutes, but then she just randomly ran away. As for the usual changing of clothes, I did that even more quickly than usual. Chihiro. I don't know what kind of talk she wanted, but I needed to hurry. With that in mind, I hurried to leave the first floor lobby.
あら、秋島さん？
Oh shit, man! Oh man! Oh shit! Imagine working hard, long hours, gonna go home at 2 a.m. and then you see this asshole leaving 5 wearing the most wearing those frilly clothes.
あ、先輩たち。
They were probably on their way back from the convenience, picking stuff up for their late night. Oh, damn, man. With the worst timing possible, I ran into a group of my senior female coworkers.
ふーん。毎日定時ダッシュご苦労様です。
Imagine wearing those frilly clothes. Oh, man. That's good. That's really gonna piss off someone, man. Spoken as she looked at my frilly clothes, judging by her thin smile, this was clearly sarcasm.
私たちなんてコンビニおにぎりでこれから終電まで残業なのにね。
すみません。もう少ししたら私が代わりに。
God,
なので今だけ。
this workplace bullying, man.
じゃあ聞くけど、もう少しっていつよ？
それは。
I couldn't answer. No, it wasn't that I couldn't. Chihiro had told me that there was a month left at best, and she didn't say it directly, but Himeko herself had been saying things with a similar nuance. But I hesitated putting the time into words. I was afraid that if I said it out aloud, it would be like accepting Himeko's death. Yeah, shit. I totally understand, Dad. I totally understand. Yeah, it's really hard to say those words. Or even give like an estimate, or even think about it.
秋島さん、どうして言えないのよ。
Of course you can't say it, man.
っていうかお見舞いってことらしいけど、どんなお見舞いか分かったもんじゃないわね。
God damn, man. These bastards.
バカ、男のとこ行ってるに決まってるでしょ。やっぱあれよ、課長が甘いから付き上がるのよ。一度ビシッと言わないから若い子は。
Thus they kept flinging their slander and complaints at me. I couldn't do anything but listen quietly. Even though I wanted to explain things, I didn't feel I could do it well.
すみません。失礼します。
Saying simply that, I cut through the crowd of female seniors and hurried away. It took all I had to just shake off the "Hey, come back here" that I heard from behind me. She really just ran, man. God damn. Throwing my face at work tomorrow just became even harder. Damn. I can't imagine that feeling, man. I cannot imagine. Just straight up being an asshole. I mean, of course we know her reason, but you know, from their perspective, the office workers. I know they're being an asshole to Yuka, but like, you know, from their perspective, they felt they were reasonable about being you know, shit talking their, you know. Thinking that, I hurried along the already dark street to the station. I just felt extremely sad. I wanted to see Himeko as soon as possible. Chihiro.
はいお姉ちゃん、夕食のトレイ持ってきたよ。ありがとう。で、今日は千尋もお弁当持参？うん、一緒に食べようと思って。
I spread my lunch out in the nightstand as I answered. I brought a little extra so my Onan-chan could pick at it too.
はい。以前にリクエストもらってたコロッケも作ってきたよ。ありがとう。なんとなく食べたくなったのよね。丸いのが野菜コロッケで、俵型にしたのはカニクリームだから。
What is wrong with me when I hear the word kanikuri? I really need to stop having such evil thoughts in my mind. I don't even play Blue Archive. Kanikuri. Anyway.
じゃあ、カニクリームを一ついただくわね。
Sorry. I need to stop. Sitting up in the bed, Onan-chan stretched her chopsticks towards the lunchbox on the nightstand. I did the same, and we ate our croquettes together. Before, Onan-chan would have gone to the cafeteria herself and eaten whatever she wanted, but that had stopped. Even though Onan-chan wouldn't say so herself, I've been assigned to a number of 7th floor patients, so I know. Truth was, it wasn't that she chose not to eat. It wasn't that she chose not to eat. She couldn't. But rather, the things she could eat were limited. Even if she wanted to put it in her mouth, unless it was liquid or soft, it was difficult to swallow.
そういえば千尋、そろそろよね。何が？ほら、点滴よ、点滴。
Drip. Bullshit, the drip.
まだ1時間くらいなくならないと思うけど。そうじゃなくて、次の点滴のことよ。
I stiffened reflexively. She didn't mean something as simple as the next IV drip after this one ended. It was certainly a depressing thing, but it was important. Just when I had been thinking to discuss it with Yuka today, I didn't expect to hear it from my Onan-chan's mouth first.
千尋、隠したって無駄よ。少なくともあなたよりはキャリア長いんだから。
I decided to give up and speak honestly about it. It was probably impossible for me to talk my way out of it, and I had to ask her sooner or later.
週末くらいには先生から話があると思う。あら、思ったより早かったわ。私だから気を使ってくれたのかしら。
The meaning of changing the IV drip. Sadly, there was a limit to how much even morphine can stop pain, and there was a limit to how much could be given.
それでどうするつもり？お姉ちゃんは。そうね。どうしようかな。
Putting a finger to her face, she made a show of thinking about it. The final drip wasn't required treatment. The patient had a choice. I don't know what it's like in other hospitals, but at least in this hospital, this was how it was done. Normally, they would have waited until much closer to the end before informing them of the choices of drips. It was most likely as my sister said. Because she was well known here, they were giving her the choice early.
まさかお姉ちゃん、受け入れるつもり？点滴受けるわ。先生の好意もあるみたいだし。でもお姉ちゃん、いいのよ。私だって本格的に痛くなるの嫌だからさ。
My Onan-chan said that with a smile. But the truth was different. I felt I knew my Onan-chan enough to know she wouldn't accept the trip for that reason. It was because she didn't want me, our parents, or her friends to see her suffer. Especially in Yuka's case. She probably wouldn't want her to witness that.
ねえ千尋、あなたは自分が思っている以上に強い子よ。
Suddenly, to my surprise, the topic switched to me.
だってそうでしょ。毎日毎日大学終わったら7階に来て、休みの日には養護学校にボランティアにも行って、その上で教会の手伝いも欠かさない。もし私が神様だったら確実に天国行きにしてあげるわ。お姉ちゃんだから悪いことは言わない。私が死んだら一度ヘルパーはお休みしなさい。そしてもし再会したくなっても別の病院に行きなさい。じゃあこの病院には来ちゃダメなの？その時は完全にあなたが立ち直ってからね。
My sister's tone was calm, far different from her usual way of speaking. I still understand, but I nodded silently.
これがあなたに対する魔法よ。
Oh, you.
魔法？そう。私レベルなんで効果は期待できないけど。で、そういえば一つお願いがあるの。
Saying that, she took a paper box out from under the bed.
いつの日か、節美があなたの元を訪ねるかもしれないわ。節美さんが？もしその時に服を持ってきたならば、代わりにこれを渡して。ひょっとしてそれが節美さんへの魔法？ええ、残り半分のね。
Yuka perfect attendance award. The sky in the shortened days of October. When it became completely dark, I headed to the familiar place.
よ、相変わらず元気そうね。
いらっしゃい、ゆか。
Sitting down in the usual pipe chair, we started talking like every other day.
そういえばゆか、例の皆勤賞だけど。
何よ、ちゃんと休まずに続けているわよ。
そうじゃなくて、今週末までで OK だから。
Did that mean? Slowly, bad thoughts strung together in my mind.
死ぬまでにはもうしばらくあると思うんだけど。
なんだ、脅かさないでよ。
でもね、もうすぐ点滴が変わるから。
点滴？意味がわからないわ。
あのねゆか、その点滴を使い始めると、もう起きているのか寝ているのか自分でもよくわからない状態になるのよ。
It was so sudden. Words failed me. Or precisely, I couldn't figure out what to say.
そんなわけで、点滴変わった私はすでに私じゃないと思ってちょうだい。
でもそんなこと言われても。
ダメよ。私だってそんな姿は見られたくないんだから。
After that, we kept pushing back and forth with questions and answers. And I left the hospital room. I went looking for the person who could tell me more.
千尋ちゃん、ちょっと。
ゆうかさん。
ねえ、点滴の件だけど、あれって本当？
本来はもっと症状が悪化してからじゃないと適用されないんだけど。
それを使うと本当に起きているか寝ているかもわからない状態になってしまうの？
ええ、人によっては覚醒期の長い人もいるけど、中には眠ったままの人もいるし。
It was true. It wasn't that I didn't believe Himeko, but it was also sudden my feelings wouldn't settle down.
ねえ、それっていつから？
おそらく土曜日の朝から。
土曜日ってあさってじゃないの。
あさってじゃなくて明 日が最後だと思った方がいい。きっと当日の朝は先生たちだけでなく教会の神父様たちも詰めているから、実質私たちが会えるのは明日だけだと思う。そんな、じゃあ明日で最後だなんて突然すぎるよ。
Oh, remember? She left her office with everyone not liking the shit she pulled. Oh man. The Friday. Let's see how the Friday sky will go. Damn. Next day. Brett was Rag, standing pedaling on the bicycle. I was in the midst of an all-out dash to the station. Right now it was 7:50. Even though it was earlier than usual, I was heading to the office by bike. Because of what happened yesterday, let's go earlier. Of course, that thought was part of it. But more than that, I just wanted to move my body until I was sweated.
おはようございます。コーヒーどうぞ。
With the same polite smile as always, I distributed everyone's morning coffee. Everyone probably already knew about last night's clothing incident. There were even those who were obviously fuming when I handed them their coffee. Oh shit. As usual, the workplace was busy today. There were people constantly talking on the phone, people arguing over a stock chart, and throughout was the sound of people busily typing on the keyboards. In the midst of that was my desk, under a mountain made up of a clearly unnecessary amount of invoice recollections. Yeah, they basically dropped all. I mean, she was unable to keep up with the job, right? And I can imagine they're all putting all the pressure into her. But my heart didn't have time for that. Invoice reconciliations. Hey, that's really important. That's really important. I looked at the clock. It was still morning. No, just before noon already. Today was the last day I could see Himeko. Oh. Even though we had spent countless years with each other and were always together, I couldn't bear it and stood up. Oh man, she's gonna do it, man. She's gonna do it.
すみません、課長。
She's gonna do it.
どうかしたか、秋島くん。
今日これから早退させてください。
はあ？早退？
Oh man. Oh man. His tone wasn't angry. If anything, it was probably exasperated. Given what had happened up until today, and especially yesterday, it was understandable.
君、今の状況は理解しているよね。この忙しい最中に早退？
申し訳ないとは思いますけど。
はあ、怒る気にならないが、君は友達と仕事とどちらが大切なのかね。
Damn that question, man. Damn that question. Oh man. You know the answer to this one, right? You know the answer to this one. You only been in your job for a year and a half. Come on, you know the answer to this one. He said it calmly, but I could practically hear the silent "you're fired" underneath the words. You could always just find a job. You could always find a new job, you know. It's that easy. Okay, maybe it's not, but like we're talking about like Himeko, your friend of all years, so many years, right?
それは。
君も子供じゃないんだから、覚悟を決めて答えてくれ。
I really wanted to answer that my friend was more important, but for me, that was difficult. It wasn't the fear of being fired that stopped me. More than that, it was the weakness of not wanting to be disliked. Really? This is nothing you're worried about? This is what you're worried about? Oh my god, Yuka! Come on! Come on! I tried searching for the right words to smooth things over, but I neither had the skill to find them nor the guts to say them.
すみません。とにかく早退させていただきます。
おい、秋島君。
Did she just run? Did she run? Without punching my time card, I ran down the hallway and fled the company. Oh man, she ran! Oh damn! She ran! Oh, they're so archaic. They're using a punch card. Why couldn't I just go to Himeko proudly? The sun was still high. As I was being swayed by the express going back, I kept thinking about it. It wasn't as if I was angry at the people at the company. If anything, I was aware I was doing them wrong, and I felt bad about it. More than that, I felt I'd done Himeko a disservice.
たとえ逆ギレだったとしても、会社の人に怒りを持ったっていいじゃない。
Even though I knew what was most important to me and what I wanted to protect, I felt pathetic for not acting on it. I was frustrated with my own weakness. I felt I'm not done right by Himeko. I wanted to see her soon. As soon as I got to the hospital, I hurried to the elevator. I pressed the button for 7F. The 30-second wait to arrive felt impossibly long. I grew irritated at the elevator door for opening so slowly, then rushed to the hospital room.
来たわよ。どうしたのよゆか。そんなに息切らせて。ちょっと走ったから少し。もうしょうがないわね。病院内は走っちゃダメでしょ。ごめん。
I sat in the pipe chair and caught my breath before I did anything else. I had been trying to keep my behavior toward Himeko as normal and unchanged as possible, but I wasn't very confident about it today. But now, more than ever, I needed to pretend to be normal.
それよりあなた、仕事はどうしたの？ まだ昼前でしょ？
She just went AWOL, man. She just went AWOL. Holy shit, man. She just went AWOL.
暇そうだったから早退したのよ。あんたの会社、平日の金曜日なのに暇なの？
Obviously, at this point, Himeko knows, man. There's no way, she doesn't know. She knows it for sure. Himeko's not dumb.
まあね、今ってどこも不景気でしょ。ほんとこのままじゃ冬のボーナスも怪しいもんよ。
I don't even think he'll even get the winter bonus. With the way things even if she stayed the whole day at the office that day, she wasn't getting any winter bonus, man. Saying that, I gave a light smile. I couldn't lose focus, but otherwise Himeko was sharp about some things. Right now, no matter how small, I didn't want to burden her with any regrets.
それよりゆか、せっかく昼間に来てくれたんだから中庭連れてってよ。
Wait, I think I can adjust the BGM now. Water scattering onto the flower beds from the hose. The sunlight once again made a small rainbow that surrounded Himeko.
でもさゆか、たまにはそんな服もいいわね。
Yeah, even salary man Yuka looks cute, man. I went and did it. After she mentioned it, I realized that today I was wearing my suit. I forgot to change in the first floor back room and instead have flown straight here.
今日ってちょっと寒そうだったからね。フリフリじゃ。よくわからないけど。まあ似合ってるからいいんじゃない？そうかな。やっぱ少しは立派に見えるじゃない。弱々で頼りないあんたでもさ。
Bro, she got trash talked. You don't look a bit respectable. Even for a wimpy, unreliable person like you. Damn, man.
誰が弱々よ。
I tried to retort, but stop. Himeko had known me for long enough that she could see through to my true personality. If I got even more worked up, it would be hard to maintain my even composure.
ストップ。ここは重点的に水まきするから。
She instructed me to stop the wheelchair in the same spot as before, right near those green plants.
確か水仙だっけ？そうそう。だいぶ伸びてきたけど、つぼみをつけるのはまだ先ね。
I'd heard before that they would bloom in December at the earliest, but right now it was the end of October. Moreover, tomorrow it had been declared that Himeko would take that IV drip. It was plainly obvious that Himeko wouldn't be able to see those flowers.
何神気臭い顔してんのよ。ごめん。
Even though I had been trying not to show it in my body language, I unconsciously let it show on my face. I couldn't get distracted now. I needed to act like normal. Until the very, very end, I mustn't let her see me sad. I couldn't let Himeko, who would fade away tomorrow, feel even the slightest bit of unease. As someone aiming for the perfect attendance award, it was a rule I made for myself.
じゃあ次はチューリップの花壇に移動して。はいはい。今すぐ押しますって。
But is it really okay to keep things this way? Even when we'll be saying goodbye this time tomorrow. As I thought about that, we went and watered all the flower beds. Then, as we were about to head into the hospital,
ゆか、今何時？昼の1時くらいかしら。だったらもう数時間は大丈夫ね。
as I was wondering what she meant, Himeko pointed to the direction of her next destination.
まさか。
She pointed beyond the outpatient reception, the parking lot. Of course, over there, it continued to the rear entrance of the hospital.
少し行きたいところあるんだけど、連れてってくれる？確かあなた、駐車場にロードスター止めっぱなしでしょ？
I silently nodded and spoke quietly.
今から？そう。今しかないのよ。明日の今頃はもう私が私でなくなってるからね。ついでに言うと、病院の人にも見つかると厄介だから難度高いわよ。
What was I supposed to do? For just a moment, I hesitated. Common sense said we wouldn't be let off easy. It might also be criminal. I don't know about you, but Sesame and the other dude was able to, More than anything, it would be a betrayal of the good graces of the doctors. And of course, in this situation, no one in the hospital would give permission to take her outside. But I was different. Even if everyone in the world refused, I was the best friend.
わかった。
With that short answer, I slowly started pushing the wheelchair towards the main entrance. I knew that, compared to the ambulance or admittance entrances, this one was less conspicuous. And until we came to the parking lot, I carefully kept peering about as I headed to the car. In the corner of the parking lot, there, a red open-top car was unassumingly parked. A car that was the prize for perfect attendance, and very soon would come into my ownership.
悪いわね、重くて。別に平気よ、このくらい。
I lifted the car's current owner from her wheelchair and set her down in the passenger seat. Next, I brought out the top and hung the IV drip above the passenger seat, and fastened her seatbelt. It was saddening that someone as weak as me was able to pick Himeko up.
とりあえず出るわ。
With that, I turned the engine over and headed to the hospital parking lot to the stoplight in front of us. I like how they could just do that, man. They could just do that. As always, the still unfamiliar clutch clattered and shook the car as it went. The October sky beyond the windshield. For some reason, it seemed almost scarily blue, clear and high. Saitama Prefecture. The roadster drove on some road, reflecting the sky on its red body, and ran on.
ゆか、次の交差点右。
We had just gone an hour from the hospital. Occasionally, we would follow Himiko's directions, but we were now driving on a national road. For someone like myself, who rarely drove a car, I could only vaguely guess at our destination. I had no idea where we were headed, but what I did know was that Himeko would give directions at the important points.
荒川を越えるわ。
In front of us was a large sign saying "Welcome to Tokyo." Apparently, we had entered Itabashi.
ねえ姫子、一体どこまで行く気なの？うん、もうちょっとよ。もうちょっと。
And so we continued on the road a bit more. We passed a number of large intersections. When the shortened days started to strain with the sunset, suddenly a familiar place appeared before my eyes. It was the station that I got off at every day for work. Oh my god! Oh my god! Holy shit! What is Himeko planning to do? Holy shit!
姫子、まさか、そのまさかよ。
What is she planning to do? Holy shit! I had never intended for her to find out. At the least, I haven't even ever spoken to anyone about my workplace, not only to Himeko, but Chihiro too. Chihiro also. And I had never taken her to my office, and of course I don't know how to drive there. And as always, this car didn't have a navigation system, so I had no clue how to get to this place.
どうして場所？住所さえ分かればなんとかなるわよ。姫子さんをなめるんじゃないわよ。伊達に日本中の地図を覚えているわけじゃないんだから。
And raising her body up from where it had sunk in down the seat,
じゃあ連れてってくれる？
saying that she extended her hand outside the passenger seat, and of course we didn't have a wheelchair. To begin with, this car didn't have the space to pack it, and I hadn't even considered that we would get out of the car.
でも姫子、大丈夫よ。そんなにビビらなくて。ちょっと会社の人に挨拶したいだけだし。
Oh damn, what is Himeko planning to say? Holy shit. Just how much did Himeko guess at? It was true that I was causing trouble for the company and was aware of the fact. But Himeko was feeling that she was the one responsible. Oh, no way. No way. Is she planning to apologize? Then she might be planning on apologizing on my behalf. No matter what, I wanted to avoid that.
ゆか、勘違いしないでよね。私は謝るつもりなんてさらさらないわ。
Oh man, holy shit! Now that's best friend. Now that's her best friend, man. She knows exactly. Oh, she must be planning to apologize. No, I'm not.
それにあなたのためじゃないわ。これも私のためよ。
With just those words, Himeko started trying to get out of the car on her own. I rushed to the passenger seat and picked her up in my arms. Even I wasn't afraid of being fired. Even I knew that. Bro was more scared about being hated by people than being fired. What the fuck? Himeko was wearing pajamas and holding an IV drip in her hand. Seeing me carrying Himeko in my arms through the front lobby, the guard's eyes pop. I mean, what the fuck? That's really what the fuck, man. So, no, it wasn't just the guard. All the employees walking by looked surprised, wondering what was happening.
ゆか、重い。
Oh damn, oh damn.
大丈夫。そう。だったらもっと堂々としてなさい。
Eventually, we got onto the elevator, and I pressed the button for the third floor. There, we came into the office that I went to so often. Oh man, I can't. Oh man.
失礼します。
When they saw me, after I fled earlier that day, everyone in the office froze. Oh damn. And seeing that I was carrying Himeko in my arms, the staff rushed over to see what was the matter.
秋島君、そちらの方は一体？それに君は今日早退したはずでは。
課長、そのゆか、下ろしてくれていいわよ。少しなら自力で立ってられるから。
Interrupted in the middle of speaking, I quietly set Himeko down. Since we've already should this be since we've already come this far? Anyway, since we've already come this far, it might be best to let Himeko do whatever she wanted. And even afterwards, I had to take responsibility for it. That's just how it would be. If me apologizing will make Himiko's regrets disappear, I'll apologize as many times as I need to. But no matter what, I didn't want Himeko to have to bow her head. I wanted Himeko to always be proud and dignified.
はじめまして。あなたが課長さんでしたっけ？私、姫子と言います。
I really like how Himeko posed herself there.
君はもしかして例の入院中の秋島くんの友達かい？
そうです。もうすぐ死ぬので一言挨拶したくて来ました。
At the word dying, the entire office started whispering.
言っておきますけど、死ぬことを告げたのは同情が欲しかったり脅しの道具にするためじゃありませんから。
君の事情はよくわからないが、早く病院に借りたまえ。
要件さえ済めばすぐにでも。
もう挨拶ならしていただいたよ、姫子さん。おい、救急車呼んでくれ。
Yeah, this situation is so absurd, but like, we're here for the keto, right?
待ちなさい、まだよ。
The whole time she had been speaking, I had been lending her my shoulder, and now she pushed me forward.
私じゃないわ。ゆかが挨拶したいって言ってるのよ。姫子？
I didn't expect this. Every word and action Himeko took wasn't anything like what I expected.
はあ？一体君たちは何を言ってるんだね。こちらは仕事を中断して話に付き合っているんだよ。秋島くん、君も君だ。こんな状態で連れ出すなんてあまりにも非常識だろ。それでなくとも君はこの課に迷惑を与えているんだぞ。
はい、すみません。
Damn! The instant I was finishing saying sumimasen, a dry sound echoed through the office. For an instant, I didn't understand what happened. Then, numbness spread through my cheek. I realized that my cheek had been slapped with full force by Himeko.
姫子？ゆか、謝るな。あんたは謝る必要はない。むしろ文句の一つでも言ってやんなさい。
ちょっと君たち、いい加減にしてくれないと警備員を呼ぶよ。
うるさいわね、この中年課長。ちょっと黙ってなさいよ。
なんだと？病人だからとこちらも気を使っていれば。
ほらゆか、あんたも言ってやんなさい。でも。
Damn. You Yuka, get your shit together, man! After hitting me without holding back, Himeko swayed and grabbed my shoulder. Even though we had argued almost every day, she had never once hit me.
言えってんだよユカ。
Jesus Christ, Yuka. It's like a mom making her kid apologize. Tears began to fall unbidden. It wasn't as if my cheek hurt from being hit, but something somewhere hit. While continuing to lend my shoulder to Himeko, I took one step forward and opening my mouth wide.
課長、以前に友達と仕事とどっちが大切かって聞いたけど、そりゃ仕事の方が大切です。
Oh damn. Damn. Yeah, that's the responsible choice.
いや秋島君、別にそのことはもういいからさっさと引き上げてくれ。
Yeah, this whole situation is kind of awkward now.
でも親友と仕事なら親友の方が大切です。
I like this shit. Chief, before you asked whether my friend or my job was important, well, work is more important. But my best friend at work, my best friend is more important. It isn't just any friend. Well, it's true. It's true. Come on, it's true. It's true. I like that. I like these set of lines, man.
いいぞユカ、その調子を。ほらもっと言ってやる。それで悪いか、バカ野郎。
That's so cute. I can imagine Yuka. I can imagine Yuka saying that. I mean, shouting. I imagine the whole scene, man. I can imagine the whole scene. Yuka's so cute.
私には姫子の行動は会社の人に文句を言いたかったわけでも、今後私があの会社に残りやすくするためでもなかったと思う。それはもっと根本の問題。
Yeah, she doesn't have the guts to say her own, her own thoughts.
この弱々で頼りない私に対する
For Himeko, who would fade away tomorrow, to me, who would be left all alone.
もっとしっかりしろのエールなんだと思う。
Basically, get your shit together, man. I'm dying, bro. I'm dying. I can't leave you alone. Like I can't leave without you getting your shit together, man. Now that's a true best friend, man. On the way home, inside the car, the short autumn day, despite it being just 5 p.m., was starting to change into night. Himeko was sunk into the passenger seat, and I was handling the wheel. Neither of us opened our mouths as we followed the road back quietly.
ねえユカ、
The first one to break the silence was Himeko.
さっきの課長に謝っといてね。ただの出汁に使っちゃったからさ。ああ、うん。
That's what I said, but I didn't really know myself. At this point, the company seemed trivial, and I had a feeling I gained something much more important. I mean, it was basically gonna get fired at this point, man, considering everything she's done. But that is true. I mean, she finally got her shit together.
そういえば姫子、どうしてわかったの？あなたの会社のこと？ええ。誰にも言った覚えないはずよ。
At the least, since last spring when Himeko first was admitted to the hospital, I don't remember talking about work. And of course I don't remember telling Chihiro. In fact, I think I made a point to avoid the topic.
秋島由香23歳。 11月25日生まれのいてさ。血液型 O。
Oh, her birthday's next month. Holy shit. And November 25, I'm free. I'm free to do more shit again. Anyway.
趣味は可愛い小物集めとアニメ鑑賞。フリフリの服を好み、性格は素直じゃないツンデレ系。
Watching anime and tsundere. No wonder she ended up like that, man. What did they mean by this? Are we Yuga all this time? What the fuck? Suddenly she started talking about me.
でもそれは表面上だけで、家ではいつもジャージ愛用。性格も実は弱々の内気。
And what followed were things no one else knew. Other than myself, only Himeko knew those things.
つまり、この私に隠し事なんて10年早いってことよ。
I love those. I like lines like this. And look at the CG, man. Himiko's so badass. I really like Himeko like this.
そうね。そうだったわね。当たり前でしょ。だってに長年親友やってんじゃないわよ。
Saying that, Himeko smiled lightly. I was happy to hear her use the phrase best friend to refer to none other than myself. When I think that Himeko, who can stand proudly before anyone, calls me her best friend, it fills me with pride. Under the now completely darkened sky, the red roadster ran. Eventually, the places that even I recognized came into view, and that indicated that we would soon be near the hospital. We arrived at the hospital, and tomorrow the IV drip would change. It meant that the time to say goodbye to Himeko was approaching. The next day, in the morning, I came to the 7th floor. Today in the lounge, there were an unusually large number of people. There were doctors and familiar nurses, and not only Himeko's parents, but people who appeared to be relatives. And there were priests and sisters, appeared from the kyokai, all were packed in. And when I tried to go to Himeko's hospital room like always, you mustn't enter. The person who spoke to me to stop me wasn't a nurse or doctor, but a sister. It was blocking the door. Why not? Even when I wanted to talk more. But the atmosphere wasn't the kind for talking back. It had a special air about it.
ゆかさん、おはようございます。千尋ちゃん。
Turning around, I saw that in place of her usual apron, Chihiro was wearing a click outfit.
もう姫子には会えないの？
I couldn't help but rush to ask.
いいえ、今は神父様がお姉ちゃんの国会をお聞きになっておられますが、それが終われば一人ずつ呼ばれると思います。じゃあ、また会えるんだね。ええ。ゆかさんは必ず呼ばれますから。それまで待っていてくださいね。
With those words, Chihiro once again returned to the lounge. Normally, she was always calm, but today she seemed even calmer than usual. I had almost forgotten, but she was a member of the church, and Himeko was also one of the faithful. When facing life and death, at the least, compared to us living normally, they probably sincerely were able to accept it. After I waited for a while, people in the lounge started being called into the hospital room one by one. Family, parents, nurses that Himeko was close to, children from the church. They would be called into the room roughly every 10 minutes and then exit the room. And then, Chihiro was called in.
ゆかさん、お姉ちゃんが呼んでる。わかった。
With a bit of nervousness, I knocked. It was the last time we would be able to meet like this.
どうぞ。
I could hear a weak voice from beyond the door. Suddenly, I wound up thinking, Even at a time like this, should I really be acting the same? Or could it be that, at least for today, I was allowed to cry? Just for an instant, I hesitated. But I decided I should act normally. Gripping the car key that was still in my pocket, I told myself that my perfect attendance still wasn't secure.
よっ、元気そうね。
ええ、おかげさまでね。
The two of us exchanged greetings in the light tone. It was an exchange we had held countless times in this place. The only difference was that in the corner of the room there was a table with a white cloth on it, and on top there was lit candles and a cross. There was also strangely shaped glasses laid out, as well as bread. Glasses? Maybe. Okay.
これ枕飾りよ。うちじゃ点滴前に大体のことを済ますから。
Saying that, she spread both her hands, then closed them, saying that they've been anointed with the holy oil.
まあ、ゆっくりしてってよ。あんた最後だから時間もあるし。
うん、わかった。
While making a small nonsense sound, I sat down in the usual pipe chair. The cushion I brought in before, the one with the picture of a cat on it, seemed to have been useful for a number of people today.
それで姫子、もう国会ってのは終わったの？
たくさんあるかと思ってたんだけど、意外に少なかったわ。
And she mischievously stuck out her tongue out. Even in the end. I wouldn't say it out loud, but I thought Himeko was without a doubt a good person.
もし神様ってのがいて、天国という場所があるのなら、きっと姫子は行けるはず。
That thought silently came to me, and I felt myself about to cry. So I kept talking about anything at all. There was only a tiny amount of time left to talk like this.
そういえば昨日はよくも叩いてくれたわね。
もしかして痛かった？
当たり前じゃないの。しかも遠慮なしに2回も。
Honestly, I don't remember any pain. It wasn't like I wanted to say this. I just wanted to say a word of thanks. But in front of Himeko, as always, I couldn't be true to myself.
でもさよか、たまには殴り合うもんでしょ？親友ってのは。
何よそれ。どんな漫画より抜粋なのよ。
The unexpected words best friend struck my heart. I was happy. But I still mustn't cry. I still haven't finished my perfect attendance. Until then, I needed to be my normal self. That was my rule to myself. But not just happiness, but sadness and loneliness. Emotions that I couldn't put into words welled up. She got another slap again. Oh, but this time she's wearing her frilly dress today.
泣くなゆか。
When the tears I was barely holding back were about to be too much, the sound of my cheek being hit, same as yesterday, and Himiko's voice reverberated through the hospital room.
この程度のことで泣いちゃダメよ。
でもそんなこと言われても。
だったら叩かれた方が痛いって理由で泣きなさい。
Saying that, Himeko put her hand on my cheek, which had started turning red. Leaning her body over from the bed, the hand that touched my cheek was warm. Surely, Himeko was hurting many times more than me being hit. And that's why I forced myself to swallow my tears in my heart. Starting tomorrow, Himeko won't be around. I will be alone. I mustn't cry. Not just for Himeko, but for myself too.
別に痛くもないから平気よ。
そうだったらいいんだけどさ、なぜかあなたには魔法の言葉が思いつかないのよ。
And she gave me a big sigh.
だけどとりあえずその服はもうやめた方がいいわよ。
この服？
さすがに男だって行くわ、フリフリは。あなたもいい年なんだからさ。
I disagree. Guys, I disagree with this. I disagree with this statement, man. I wouldn't recoil.
って年は関係ないでしょ。
でも残念ね。もし私が男だったら嫁にもらってやるのにさ。
何言ってるのよ。
And so, after I'd taken my third slap, including yesterday's too, and barely avoiding crying, and, albeit from a girl, receiving my very first marriage proposal, Himiko's IV drip changed. 1 week later.
千尋ちゃん、今はどう？ゆかさん。
In front of the lounge, after finding Chihiro, that was the first thing I said.
さっきまで眠っていたんだけど。
だけど？
かなり血圧が下がっていたから、今日はもう目を覚まさないかも。
そう。とにかく行ってみるわ。
Leaving the lounge, I went to the hospital room. Himeko had told me that I didn't have to come anymore, but I continued going. And coming to the room, I stopped for a moment and spoke softly.
入るわよ。
Even if Himeko were awake, I knew there wouldn't be an answer. But now, even if I tried to knock, there was only a curtain. The door was always open.
よいしょっと。
With that little phrase, I sat down in the familiar tall pie chair. On the bed, she was sleeping with an oxygen tube attached. And so, I started reporting the events of the day to Himeko.
そういえば会社辞めようと思ってたけど、続けることにしたわ。
I'm surprised she wasn't fired. Not gonna lie, guys. Not gonna lie. But like, I guess they just understood, you know. They straight up saw someone who was dying. They straight up saw someone that they were like shit talking that, oh, she's out seeing a girl, seeing a guy, and what kind of visit was she doing? But they straight up saw the dead dying person.
不思議なものでね。なんかあれから周りの私を見る目が変わったみたい。
I mean, she grew her balls basically. Of course, everyone would stop looking at her like some sort of like someone they could just bully.
あ、いや、変わったのは私の方かもしれないわね。
I kept talking, almost as if to myself. There wasn't any real reason for this act. No goal. Once in a while, if Himeko were awake, you talked to her. You were lucky to get an in reply. There wasn't much difference compared to when she was sleeping. I had heard that on rare occasions she might be alert, but I wasn't really expecting that. I don't really know myself. That was the best way to express it. Maho. From there, another 2 weeks passed. Soon October would end. Today, I was going to that usual place. Himeko continued to sleep atop the bed. She slept so quietly. If it weren't for the heart monitor's readout, you would think she had already died.
ねえ姫子、さっき千尋ちゃんから聞いたけど、もってあと1週間くらいだって。あと例の皆勤賞は私がここに通える間は期間延長よ。これは私が勝手に変更したルールだけど、悪く思わないでね。
Alone, sitting on a small pipe chair, Akuni speaking softly. When I gripped the hand lying straight out of the sheet, it was very warm. The pain from when she had slapped me on the cheek had faded away, but the warmth from the hand that touched me was the same.
そういえば
And I suddenly recalled the time she hit me. She had said that best friends hit each other, but in our case, I was the only one being hit. Remembering that, I slowly stretched out my hand and then gently hit Himeko on the cheek. It made a soft sound. Instead of hitting, caressing was probably more correct. But this was enough.
やっぱ親友同士だからね。
Preparing to end today's visit, I got up from the pipe chair. It was then I was simply happy. It wasn't like I had hope for this, but I had thought that we would never be able to speak again.
それよりゆか、なんであなたがまだ来ているのよ。来ないでって言ったでしょ。
それは
It was sudden. The words got a bit stuck, but it was all right. I already had an answer prepared. It was an answer that I had come to by thinking over the last few days. Thinking of the possibility, I had practiced endlessly imagining it.
姫子、別に私自身が来たくて来ているわけじゃないわ。
She had to pull a Sundar line, man.
じゃあなんでよ。
あなた一人じゃ寂しいと思って来てあげてるの。感謝しなさいよ。
That Sundar line. She ripped us off a Sundar line, man. The practice paid off. I managed to say the whole thing without stuttering. But at my posturing, Himiko's mouth just softened a bit.
やっぱあなたばかりよ。私が消える人間なのか。
無理ね。
じゃあちょっとしてたまには思い出してくれるだけでいいわ。
それなら善処してみる。
I answered as cheerfully as I could. I didn't know how long Himeko would stay alert, but it probably wasn't a long time.
私は明るくしっかりと映っただろうか。姫子に気がかりを残さずに安心させてあげることができただろうか。
ゆか、そういえば魔法の言葉だけど。
お祈りなら前にもやってもらったわよ。
それじゃないわ。あなただけにしか聞かない特別の魔法の言葉があるの。
私だけの？
あなたに対してだけは
どうやっても見つからなかったんだけど、私もここ数日考えてやっと見つけることができたのよ。
And pausing, she took a deep breath and looked straight at me.
ありがとう。あなたと親友だったこと誇りに思うわ。Himeko。
All of a sudden, tears overflowed. I had planned, just in case, and practiced countless times to be a lady. They were such simple words, and yet, actually having them said to me, just none of it worked.
この土壇場でそんなこと言うのは反則よ。いいわよ、最後くらい泣いたのに。泣き合うだけが親友じゃないし。
Saying that, she smiled at me. And so, my best friend fell into eternal sleep. The car key in my pocket, as the perfect attendance prize, transferred into my possession. The flower beds in the courtyard that came into view before me were decorated with those flowers. Daffodils. Their scientific name was Narcissus. They bloom from November to March. The white and yellow flower buds were beginning to form. Only a single car stopped in front of me. A red, open-top car. It was the one that I recognized. Opening the door and getting out was a short, young woman, and she was walking straight towards me. I believe I met this person before at the beach. However, she wore frilly clothes before and left me an impression of cuteness. Now she wore a crisp summer suit. I don't want to break the mood, but I just want to comment. She's well endowed. Anyway, sorry. My clothing. It was a question she asked while looking at my pink pajamas. Saying just that, the young woman went back to her car. And then, just when I thought she would start the engine and drive off, on to Narcissus 1. And that is Himeko's epilogue. I'm not going to read afterward ever again. You know what? The second read, okay, fine. I didn't get as emotional as I thought I would be. You know, because I read this yesterday, so I already had an idea of everything that's going to happen, and like I I don't know. I had a better mood yesterday, I guess, but like the recording messed up. I really hope this one doesn't. Anyway, all right, I'm just gonna end it here. I'm gonna grab some dinner and I'm gonna start rewrite. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I don't know if I'm gonna do the other Narcissu stories, but for now I feel really satisfied with like the whole thing. So I don't know, but like I don't know, man. I gotta think about it. But for now, my main focus is rewrite, and yeah. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed watching, and I'll see you guys on the next upload. Ciao.